Well, it's Friday afternoon, and we're so glad you've joined us again today. We are just looking forward to what God is going to do as we gather and as we think about Him. As one of the things that Bill has offered Keswick staff is that we would have this Zoom meeting where we would have, we discuss how to cope in this coronavirus, because as we are reaching out to other people, obviously there's concerns that we have on our hearts as well. And in one of the meetings just this past week, Lynn, who's leading the group, suggested to us that we use this time to see how God is going to change our lives. How am I going to be changed? What is God going to do through my circumstances to change me? And that's what I've begun to look at. And I know God has put us on this path. He's put us on every path in our lives. And as we can look back, we can see His hand in all things that we've experienced. And I'm so glad that we can trust Him today. And maybe at the end of the day, we can say, Lord, what have I learned today more about You? The world tries to give me reasons why I shouldn't serve the Lord. They say don't believe it if you can't touch or see it. It must not be worth living for. But they can say what they will, 'cause my hope is built on more than the eyes can see. And I'm here to say this is the only life for me. And the longer I know Him, the more that His peace is abiding in me. And my faith is deeper now than when I first believed. Though the path where He leads me may not be easy, sometimes I don't understand. Oh, I just have to say, this is the only life for me. Now I am not saying that all of my days have turned out right. I have my share of trouble when life is a struggle. The sun just refuses to shine. But in my darkest hour, I find His power. He gives me the strength I need. And I'm here to say, this is the only life for me. And the longer I know Him, the more that His peace is abiding in me. And my faith is deeper now than when I first believed. Though the path where He leads me may not be easy, sometimes I don't understand. Oh, I just have to say, this is the only life for me. Oh, I'm here to say, this is the only life for me. Well, my mom has been diligently working on quilts, and that was one of her last projects before this whole thing got shut down. She was one of those last people to run to Joann's Fabrics to get the supplies she needed so she could quilt through COVID-19. And so I wonder what you've been doing to keep busy. What have you been doing? I know cross stitch has come back. It's a big deal. And you have to send us pictures of some of the things you've been working on. One of my favorite verses of Scripture says in 1 Thessalonians 11 and 12 says, we should work with our hands and mind our own business. And it's really good advice. So I don't know what you're doing to keep yourself busy, but one time we heard the story about Corrie ten Boom, and she would share a tapestry, and she would show you the front and the beautiful work on the front, but then she would turn it around and she would show you the backside and all the knots and the strings going all different directions. And she would say, we sometimes look at the underside, we see all the things that are wrong and all the knots and twists, and we don't see the finished work. And God knows the finished work in our lives. We see the knots and the twirls. We don't know what God's plan is and why God has allowed this. But we know we can trust Him because He is the weaver and He allows everything in our lives. And He wants to work it to make something beautiful. Allow Him to make something beautiful of your life. Have you ever watched a weaver working at the loom? And he weaves a lovely tapestry with threads of many hues, each one a perfect pattern, each thread a perfect shade. That's how our Father gently shapes the children He has made. You see, my life is just a weaving between my Lord and me, and I cannot change the colors He chooses lovingly. Sometimes He weaves in sorrow, and I in foolish pride forget He sees the finished work, and I the underside. Not till the loom is silent and the shadows cease to fly shall God unroll the tapestry and explain the reason why the dark threads are as needful in the weaver's skillful hands as the threads of gold and silver in the pattern He has planned. Now when the trials of life unravel the fabric of our plans, and we face the deep confusion of painful circumstance, when our feeble strength is broken and we stand with empty hands, that's when the Father whispers, trust the pattern I have planned. Without those trials, we'd never learn the promise of His word, that all things work together for them that love the Lord, and someday in His presence
Well, we thank you for joining us this week on Facebook Live, and I want to encourage you at 2:30 to watch the Bill and Bob podcast. We're going to be listening to the second half of Pastor Sam Sutter's message on the book of Colossians. I know you're going to really enjoy that study. I'm late. You all started without me. I wait every day for you. You just started right without me. But I wanted to let you know that there's big news.
There is?
Yep. Saturday,
Were you watching the news?
Saturday, the governor has announced that all state and local parks are going to now be open.
That's terrific.
Which is really, really amazing. And
That's
golf
great.
courses. So Joyce can go golfing on Saturday.
All right, and I'm going camping.
But next week on Thursday, we have our hymn sing, and we're doing something special. We're going to invite people to pick a favorite, and that favorite it'll cost you, what did we say? $100.
I heard 100.
$100. And that $100 will go towards our Family Freedom Walk goal of $115,000. So if you have a favorite that you'd like to sing, like you might be listening today, and your favorite is number 505, He Touched Me, you can call us with your credit card. You can send a check, 1-800-453-7942, or you can donate online and pick your favorite at www.americaskeswick.org. And now until next week, God bless you.